Alright, welcome back in here as we are back live on Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. As we got a play-by-play of this one, joining in progress of this game. Thank you so much for everybody who just joined in for the game that just finished up a couple moments ago that I called Michigan State winning against Iowa. Now we're back for the second game tonight here in a doubleheader. Oklahoma out hot on a start here. They're up by 10 early on, 16-6 as we join this game currently in progress with 11:08 left to go in the first half. Currently, we're just on a TV timeout. We're going to get back in a couple moments here to the game. We'll take a look. Leading scores right now at the moment for Texas Tech. 2 points distributed between 3 players. TJ Holyfield, Kyler Edwards, Kevin McCullough with 2 points right now. For Oklahoma, leading score at the moment, 7 points by Brady Manick for the Sooners, and 4 points by Christian Doolittle, 3 by Austin Reeves. So that's what the numbers look like right now. Oklahoma trying to survive for dear life on the bubble. One of the last teams in the tournament at the moment. Hey, welcome back in here. My man Ryan, thanks so much for stopping by here. Once again, feel free, guys, to check out the Discord, and that is crazy. Wake Forest is leading 87-84 in overtime. Looks like Duke was going to put it away. Final a minute and a half left to go. Duke was up by 9 points. They blew their 9-point lead, went into overtime, tied up, and wow, Wake Forest at home, they have a chance to win the game 87-85 with 1:42 left to go in overtime. Crazy night. Scoreboard update for everyone right now. Baylor up by double basically against Kansas State. 60-30 is the score with 14 minutes left to go. We're back to action right now on this one as that shot on the key is no good. And it gets a rebound by Oklahoma. Oklahoma going right to left in the court. Texas Tech going left to right. Oklahoma takes a three. Right corner. It's up. It's good. It hits it down from behind the arc by Jalen Hill. The Sooners are up now. Largest lead tonight, 19-6. Looking strong with 10:45 left to go. They got a net ranking of 55. Their best win was the win against West Virginia a couple weeks ago by 10. That jumper, no good by Texas Tech. They get the offensive rebound. They take a jumper left baseline off the mark. They're stone cold right now shooting-wise. Rebound by Oklahoma. 10:30 left to go. Sooners with the basketball. Moving it around the perimeter. Over to the left wing into the hands of Doolittle. Doolittle with the basketball now. Makes his move inside. Floats it back out to the right corner. A three up in the air. Off the mark. No good by Bienemy. Rebound Texas Tech. Red Raiders with the basketball. Already 3 blocks by Oklahoma in this one. Texas Tech moving it around the perimeter. Left wing with 10 minutes left to go before halftime. They're trailing by 13. Only 6 points to show for in the first 10 minutes of this game. Terrence Shannon with the ball. Passes into the key to Moretti. Moretti dribbles out to the right corner perimeter. Guarded by Hill. Moretti with the basketball. 8 on the shot clock. Dribble drive. Bounce pass. Right baseline. Lost control of it out of bounds by Kevin McCullough, but it last bounced off a Sooner player's foot. So Texas Tech will get it back in the front court here. So if anybody's new on the channel, feel free to hit that like before we get started. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if anybody's new here out on the channel. Thank you all so much for stopping by and Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Close game, 89-88, Wake Forest. Wow, they are up right now. Hey, welcome in, Gavin here. Thanks so much, my man, for stopping by on the channel. 9:50 left to go. Inbound coming up by Texas Tech. Oklahoma back in 2019, they made the NCAA tournament last year with a 7-11 conference record back a year ago. Do they have it? What it takes once again? That's a 3-point shot, not even close. Shot clock violation by Texas Tech as the horn sounded and it went off the shot clock. So Oklahoma gets back the basketball. 9:44 left to go. Sooners will get back the basketball up by 13. They take it past the half-court logo now. Into the hands of Bienemy. Bienemy handoff. Jalen Hill. Hill with the ball. Passes off. Top of the key over to Harmon. Harmon swings it back over to Doolittle. Doolittle passes over right corner. Moves it over left corner to Hill. Hill baseline here. Dribble. Puts up that shot. It's up and through. That one's good. 21-6. Cannot believe it right now that Oklahoma's up by this much. 9:15 left to go. Texas Tech with the ball. Chris Clark back into the game. Hey, welcome in here. Enver, my man. Thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate it, brother. Dayton should not be number 4 Ohio State's putting out here. That's a joke. Well, Dayton is undefeated in conference play, and the A10 isn't a bad conference at all this year, man. Look at all the teams at the top of the A10. They're not a bad conference. St. Louis has a record of 8-6 in that conference, and they're not going to make the tournament, but St. Louis If you put St. Louis into the tournament, I bet they could play really close with somebody if you put them in there as like a 12-5 seed or so. But they're not going to make the tournament. They're going to get 3 in the conference. 3 in the conference. Dayton, Rhode Island, Richmond, most likely. VCU has fallen off a cliff, but VCU beat LSU earlier this season. 21-6 the score. Low post puts it up, too high off the backboard, no good, gets offensive rebound. Texas Tech puts it up for 2. 13-point game. That's crazy. Wake Forest is leading right now by 4 against Duke in overtime. That's crazy. Missed 3-point shot by Oklahoma. Rebound Chris Clark, right baseline. Moves it over top of the key into the hands of Ramsey. Ramsey passes to Chris Clark. Clark gets it blocked, and he gets fouled as well, so Chris Clark will go to the line. 8:33 left to go. 2 shots coming up at Chris Clark at the free throw line. Yeah, that's a game at George Mason by 7. George Mason did really well in non-conference play, just they completely collapsed in the conference. That's the thing with them. First shot, it's up and good. Watch out for Davison, I would say. Davison could win the A10. Yeah, the A10 isn't bad at all. Davison with a 14-12 record could possibly win the A10. They take on Dayton next in the next game on Friday. Second shot by Texas Tech coming up at the free throw line. Chris Clark. That one's up, that one's through. So they finally got 10 on the board. 21-10 is the score. 8:33 left to go in the first half. Indeed, Obi Toppin is such a beast there. I think they're just struggling on the road because they struggled against UMass as well on the road. Brady Manick pass over to the backdoor cut. Reeves swings it back outside. Doolittle. Oh, they're passing it around the perimeter. Manick, a 3 off the mark. No good as he took it. Rebounds by Texas Tech. Red Raiders push it up the court. Moretti with the basketball over at the top now. Davide dribbles towards the left wing perimeter. Makes his move inside to Clark. Clark, bounce pass in the key. Taken away, though, by Oklahoma. Here goes the steal by the Sooners. They got numbers in the fast break transition. They're gonna stay with the basketball, though, as Doolittle loses control of it. It gets taken away by Texas Tech. One man to beat. Misses a shot. Missed the layup, though. Clear path to the hole, and Texas Tech misses it. And it gets rebounded by Oklahoma. 11-point Oklahoma lead. 7:50 left to go. A 3 taken right wing off the mark. No good by the Sooners. Rebounds by Chris Clark at Texas Tech. Hey, welcome on Sportscaster. Choop La Scoop. Goose, welcome in, my man Goose. And yeah, baby, thanks so much for stopping by in Sportscaster. Davide Moretti with the basketball for Texas Tech, trailing by 11. They got it at the top of the key with Moretti. Dribble drive, working on Jalen Hill of Oklahoma. Moretti passes over right corner. A 3 up in the air. They missed the 3-point shot by McCullough. Rebound by the Sooners. Yikes. A rough game shooting-wise for Texas Tech right now. 0 for 5 tonight from behind the arc. Oh, that's awesome. Ohio State basketball put in here. He saw Dayton beat Duquesne 80-70. Yeah, Duquesne's had a pretty good season. They started out, I think, 15-1 until they got into conference play. That's a deep 2. It's up and good for Oklahoma. None of these shots can fall right now by Texas Tech. The fact that they're playing on an NBA court and having trouble to shoot the basketball, it's just, that's the realization at this moment. Chris Clark has it. Top of the free throw circle. Handoff into the hands of Shannon. And low post in the dribble drive. Puts it up and in for 2. Back to 11, 6:35 left to go. Sooners right with the ball again. This game is going by so fast. Oklahoma with it. Passes the ball over to Jalen Hill. If anybody's new to the channel, make sure to hit the thumbs up here down below. Hit the subscribe button if anybody enjoys what I do, as I call play-by-play basketball and behind the arc basketball on YouTube. That's a 3-point shot taken. Top of the key, and Austin Reeves hits it for Oklahoma. 26-12. Texas Tech, you got to call a timeout right now. This is getting out of hand. Chris Clark at the left elbow. You're already down by 14 with 6 minutes left to go before halftime. Red Raiders with it. Clark, left elbow jumper. No good off the mark. Ball tipped up in the key. Rebounded by who? Tipped around. Chris Clark gets it. Clark with the ball. Swings it back over to Moretti. Passes to the right corner perimeter. McCullough, right baseline dribble. Over to Shannon. Shannon with a jumper. Puts it up and in. 26-14. 5:40 left to go before halftime. Oklahoma basketball. They dribble past the half court. That is insane, Ryan. The fact that Duke blew that lead. Wow, 96-92. Wake Forest is up by 4 points. That is crazy. 5:30 left to go here before halftime. Missed shot. Oklahoma no good. Battle for the rebounds. And we're going to have a foul committed on the court. I think it's by Austin Reeves for Oklahoma. Wow, 16 seconds left to go in OT. Wake Forest up by 1, 96-95. Crazy game. By the way, Baylor leading Kansas State 68-39 in this game. All Oklahoma 26-14. Texas Tech, oh man, they are struggling right now from the floor by the Red Raiders. Hey, welcome back in here, my man Josh. Thanks so much for stopping by right now. Once again. So 26-14. Currently, we're just on break. Leading scorer for Texas Tech only has 4 points from the bench. That's Terrence Shannon and Chris Clark. Both of them have 4 points from the bench. 2 points by McCullough, 2 by Edwards, 2 by Holyfield, and Davide Moretti is 0 for 3 from three-point range. Oklahoma leading scorer goes to Austin Reeves. 8 points by Reeves, 5 by Hill so far tonight. I would go there for sure, Ohio State basketball. Dayton is the number one in the state of Ohio. Then Ohio State as well. Had the crazy windmill dunk. He had one against Rhode Island as well. That was a couple weeks ago. It was on his brother Jacob Top, and he was the one who committed the foul, and Obi had a just insane windmill dunk. But yeah, Dayton's next game over on Friday night. They take on Davison. Currently, we're just on break in this one. 5:27 left to go before halftime. Oklahoma is out right now to a 12-point lead, trying to survive and be a part of the NCAA tournament. What's at stake right now for Oklahoma? Well, this is at stake for the Sooners. In danger of missing the NCAA tournament. Right now, they are at a number 12 seed according to ESPN. Providence and USC will be a play-in matchup as a number 12 play-in. The other play-in will be Oklahoma versus NC State. There's 2 teams trending in the wrong direction. 2 teams going in the positive direction. The 2 in the positive are Providence and NC State with big wins last week. Providence with a lot of wins lately to get them right back in the picture with 9-6 in the Big East. While NC State got a 22-point victory last week against Duke. But going in the wrong direction is USC and Oklahoma in danger of making the tournament. And that's the problem there for Oklahoma. They've had some bad losses. A loss by 19 against Stanford, who Stanford has collapsed and they're outside the bracket right now. A loss at Iowa State in the conference, which Iowa State has a record of 11-16. A loss at Kansas State that's getting obliterated against Baylor that has a record of 9-18. They'll be 9-19 after the last in 15 to 20 minutes or so from now. That record will go to 9-19. And then the last 3 games as it stands look like this for Oklahoma, as they're in danger of missing the tournament. Saturday at West Virginia, ranked at number 20. Already beat them once this season by 10 a couple weeks ago. Their best win of the season came against West Virginia, 69-59. And then they take on Texas. At home against Texas. Texas pulled off a victory yesterday against West Virginia. They closed it out with a game at TCU on March 7th. TCU looking to play in the NIT, same as Texas. We're back to action. Oklahoma with a basketball 12-point game. Deep 3, left corner off the mark, no good. Fight for the rebound, and Texas Tech's got it. 5 minutes left to go before halftime. Red Raiders basketball, they dribble past the half-court logo. Jamias Ramsey, top of the key, passes off to Chris Clark. Chris Clark passes off to Moretti. Moretti at the right baseline. Inside the three-point arc. Passes back to Chris Clark at the free throw circle. Clark with the basketball. Back over Moretti. Takes a 3. It's up. Great shooting stroke, and it's good. Davide finally hits his first 3-point shot. 9-point game. 97 all. Thanks so much, Ryan, for the update. Wow. Duke and Wake Forest tied up at 97, as we'll keep you guys updated throughout that game throughout the course of the night. Sooners with the basketball over to the top of the key now. Brady Manick has it. Welcome on Sportscaster Billy Man 9288. Thanks so much for stopping by in Sportscaster. Manick puts the ball into the hands of Reeves. Reeves at the right wing, deep 3. This one is up. Oh, he gets it. Austin Reeves from the parking lot right there nails down the triple and hits down the 26-footer. Howdy. Thanks so much for stopping by, my man. Techie800. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel once again. Texas Tech with the basketball. Free throw circle. Passes off. Moretti. Over now to McCullough. Passes into the key to Chris Clark. Clark here. Takes the jumper. That one's up and good for 2 at the free throw circle. Back to 10. 29-19. 3:50 left to go. Yep, Michigan State just won a close game. I called that game that wrapped up about 15-20 minutes ago. Nick, welcome back on the channel once again. As Michigan State, they were down throughout most of it, but came back, and Cassius Winston, the reason why, him and Rocket Watts, a big reason why Michigan State was able to pull out the victory. Oklahoma, right corner, 3-ball, in the air, Brady Manick hits the rim short, no good, rebound by Moretti of Texas Tech, but we got a foul on the rebound. It's going to stop the clock with 3:27. Going into double overtime, Duke and Wake Forest. Oh my gosh. Oh man, imagine if they had put that game over on ESPN. Imagine if that game would be a different date and it wouldn't have competition with these games going on tonight here. That Michigan State-Iowa game was an incredible game earlier today, but wow, I'm not expecting them to lose to Wake Forest or even have it that close, but yeah, double oof. Duke playing games close on the road, 97-97, going into double overtime. The Italian Stallion, Davide, drained down a three-point shot a couple minutes ago. First one of the game. We're going to go on break right now in this one as we got 3:26 left to go remaining. If anybody's new here, hit the like down below, hit the subscribe button as well as I call play-by-play on Behind New York Basketball on YouTube. So we're going to get right back in this game here in just a moment. Feel free, guys, to join the Discord as well, as we have that out there also. So, yo, Wake Forest is 11-15. That's crazy. – 11-15, and Wake Forest is up 100-97. Wow. Big oof for Duke tonight. That's a big oof. Crazy. So double OT, 4 minutes left to go in overtime. And it's 102-97. 5-point lead by Wake Forest with 3:45 left to go in overtime. That's insane. So right now it's a 10-point game at 29-19, 3:26 left to go before halftime. We got the regular games that I went over earlier today. Michigan State versus Iowa. Michigan State won by 8, 78-70. Auburn got the victory over Ole Miss, 67-58. Kentucky beat Texas A&M, 69-60. Dayton only won by 7 today against George Mason, 62-55. And Baylor just destroying Kansas State tonight, 72-43. Big oof. It looks like in that favor for Wake Forest at home, double overtime. It looks like the momentum has just swung right in there to their favor right now for Wake Forest. And barely anybody can watch that game because that game's over on the ACC network, which is a pay-per-view channel. So I bet you barely anybody's got that channel. All right, so right now we're just on a TV timeout, getting right back into the game. If anybody's new here out on the channel, first timer on the stream, don't forget to hit the like, the thumbs up down below, hit the subscribe button here as I call play-by-play basketball. We're back to action. Oklahoma ball. Oklahoma up by 10. We'll see if they can sustain this throughout. 3:20 left to go. Brady Manick passes it back out to the top. They move it along. That's a 3 take, and they hit it. 3-ball goes down by Jamal Bieniemy. From behind the arc for the Sooners, they're up by 13. Yep, they have an over 500 record. So, yeah, good road game for them. But they're over 500, but they're like 4-11, I believe, in the conference. Texas Tech swings over left wing perimeter, trailing by 13. They move it back to the top now to Shannon. Shannon with a basketball, dribble drive. Low post puts it up. Oh, with a block right there by Oklahoma on the block in the low post by Kirk Weth. Texas Tech playing defense here. Oklahoma with a basketball. Into the hands of Bieniemy. Bieniemy at the right wing perimeter. They have a top of the key. That is insane. 104-97. Wake Forest in double OT. Looking like they're going to win that game. 2:27 left to go here. We'll get a stoppage in time on the court by Texas Tech as they pick up the foul by Terrence Shannon. Yeah, what happened to K-State? 4 seed last year just totally collapsed. They had a bunch of seniors, though, from last year's team. Dean Wade, Barry Brown. They lost a lot of players there for K-State in the offseason. So it's more like a rebuilding year this season for them. I knew that they probably wouldn't be that great. Same as Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech and Tennessee, those two teams, they're rebuilding this season. That jumper in the key, no good. Rebounds by Texas Tech. 2:10 left to go before halftime. The Red Raiders, dribble drive inside, puts up the shot, no good. Chris Clark tips it around to get the offensive rebound, though. Texas Tech with the basketball. At the left wing perimeter, dribbling to the free throw circle, passes back to Holyfield. Holyfield inside, and we get a foul picked up by Oklahoma. Christian Doolittle picks up the foul. Stops the clock with 2 minutes even. (105-99). 1:49 left to go in double overtime. Wake Forest is up by 6. Texas Tech with the ball. They have it. Shannon takes the deep 2. Off the mark, no good. Rebound, Oklahoma. These shots just cannot hit right now from the floor. Oklahoma's got the basketball. They have it at the right wing perimeter. To the top of the key, they dribble. Into the hands of Bieniemy. Bieniemy passes off now to Reeves. Reeves with the basketball for the Sooners. Pass inside, stolen away. Not yet. Wake Forest is up, though. 105-99, Christian, please. They're in double overtime right now. They still got like a minute 45 left to go in double OT. Texas Tech with the ball, free throw circle. Moretti swings it back out. They take a 3. It is up. It is good. Texas Tech hits the 3 ball from behind the arc, puts it back to 10. Oklahoma with 1:10 left to go before halftime. That would be insane if it goes into a triple overtime. Imagine calling like a type of game like that. That'd be crazy. I don't even have like the text files formatted to like triple overtime. I only got it up to double overtime. If I ever have it triple overtime, I'm gonna have to just type it up in here in the chat. That shot no good by Oklahoma. Fight for the rebound, and the Sooners get it on the offensive board. 50 seconds left to go. They take a jumper down, off the mark, and the 3-point shot goes out of bounds. Last touched by the Red Raiders, so Oklahoma will get it back. TJ Holyfield tipped it out of bounds. Yeah, that game looks like it's done there, Ryan. 107-99. Wow. Duke just blew it. Wow. Hey, welcome in, Colton here, back on the channel. Thanks so much for stopping by again. Yep, Virginia is doing okay. They are, right now, in the tournament, projected to be a 10 seed, or an 11 most likely for Virginia, but they are doing okay. They got a win against Florida State that really helped them. Wow, 107-101. Wake Forest up by 6 against Duke. 58 seconds left to go. So currently we're just at a TV timeout. We'll get back to action a little bit here. And Duke has blown that game. Duke was up by like 9 points with like a minute and a half left to go. Alright, so currently on a commercial break here. 47 seconds left to go before halftime. Yep, Duke blew it against Wake Forest. What else is new? Overrated. That's unfortunate. Hey, welcome in, Taco Meat. Thanks so much for stopping by here again. Duke, welcome back on the channel. Ohio State projected as a 6 right now. I think Michigan's projected as a 5, same as Michigan State. Either Michigan's a 5 or a 6 in brackets. Inbound coming up for Oklahoma. Puts it to the backcourt. Getting that one's Davion Harmon. Harmon dribbles now. Inside, dribble drive. Low post, flings it back outside. A 3, Bieniemy, air ball. And Texas Tech grabs the rebound. Red Raiders with the basketball. If anybody's new on the channel first time, hit the thumbs up with a like. Hit the subscribe button as I call play-by-play basketball. 25 seconds left to go before halftime. Texas Tech has it now when Moretti. Trying to cut this to single digits before the half. Davide Moretti, 3-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Moretti at the top of the key, dribbling 8 on the shot clock. 11 on the game clock. Moretti dribbles right wing, gets banged into, no foul. Moretti with 3, passes right wing, deep 2, taken, no good, off the mark, and not a good look at all by Texas Tech as the horn sounds, and that is not halftime yet. Shot clock violation by Texas Tech with 2.6. So Oklahoma will get it back. It was a shot clock violation as the ball didn't even touch the rim. Air ball by Texas Tech. Oklahoma gets back the basketball. 2.6 on the clock. Inbound. They're going to get it. Reeves. Half court float at the horn. Too high. Off the backboard. No good. And we go into halftime. 32-22. Oklahoma with a major game tonight for their chances to be a part of the NCAA tournament. Looking good so far. Holding Texas Tech to a very low shooting percentage from the court in that first half. The shots just not falling tonight here by the Red Raiders. 29% from the floor, 9 for 31 right now. Shooting the basketball, 2 for 7 from behind the arc. It is rough so far going on by the Red Raiders in this game. Oklahoma struggling as well, 42% from the floor, but much better than the 29 that Texas Tech's got at halftime. So let's see here. Ohio State basketball, hoping that Ohio State can get to a 5 seed if they win out. Certainly possible for sure. Christian Plays putting out here, we can all agree Duke is not top 10 for sure, man. Yep, so overrated. They're just, in the home games, they play well at home, but when they travel on the road, that is a major problem. They cannot play defense on the road. You gotta watch out. If Duke takes on Colgate, and Duke for some reason is out of their region in the bracket, I am taking Colgate in that game. If that's a 3 versus 14, I will pull the trigger on Colgate since Duke has had a historical past problem with playing teams against Patriot League teams. They had trouble against C.J. McCollum and Lehigh during the early part of the 2010s. And that Colgate team's only got, I think, 6 or 7 losses this year. And they retained most of the starting 5 from last year. I would go Colgate, a team that played Tennessee really close in the first round of the tournament last year as a 15 seed with Colgate. If it wasn't for their leading scorer, Rapulus Ivan Stauskas, if he hadn't lost his contacts in that game against Tennessee, he would have been able to play during the rest of the game. He actually had his contacts fell out of his eye during that game, and he wasn't able to see. And he didn't have like an extra contacts they brought along with him for the trip. So unfortunately, he was unable to play for the rest of that game. He only played like 5 minutes or so, I believe, in the first round against Tennessee. And there went Colgate's leading scorer. They kept it close, but it wasn't enough. So right now we're at halftime. What a game. Duke and Wake Forest. 109-101, 36 seconds left. 110-101, 36 seconds left to go in double OT. And Wake Forest is up by 9, now make it 11. 111-101. Wake Forest up by 10. Wow. Baylor cruising against K-State. Final 4 minutes, 84-50 as we're at halftime between this game right now. Wendell Moore with 25, Trey Jones with 24. What happened to Carey? Vernon Carey Jr. fouled out, and he only scored 10 points. That's a major problem. When Carey fouls out, he is the team for Duke. He scores 10 and fouls out. Yup, the game's over. 10-point lead by Wake Forest with 33 seconds remaining. What a game. Oliver Sarr, 25 points for Wake Forest. I don't even know most of these players. C. Brown with 24 points as I'm looking at the box score here. I never called a Wake Forest game before, so I don't know any of these players. 16 points by Jay Neath. Mucius with 14 points. 17 by Childress for Wake Forest. The starting five has 16 points or more for Wake Forest. Crazy. I'm looking at the highlights right now of what's going on. Duke with a bunch of turnovers, it seems to be. Can't believe that they blew this game. Final. Wow. Thank you guys so much for the update. Wow. Talk about overrated. Not going to be in the top 10 come Monday. Let's see who Duke has coming up. They got NC State. I know they got NC State next week, but they have somebody over on the weekend as well. Might be Virginia. Maybe Virginia. I'm going to check their schedule. It is Virginia. Virginia, 6 p.m. on Saturday. Wow. Last 3 games for Duke. At Virginia. Home against NC State on Tuesday. Or that's on Monday. Yeah, that's on Monday, 3-2. So that's on Monday, 3-2. And then they take on North Carolina on Saturday, close it out on March the 7th. Crazy. I thought everything was solved when they crushed Notre Dame. But when they take on these teams on the road, they struggle. Look at all their road games here recently. Struggle. Lost at North Carolina State by 22. Went into overtime, beat UNC by 2 because UNC couldn't hit free throws. Almost lost against Boston College when Boston College turned over the ball a bunch of times. 63-55 was the final. They were down against Boston College throughout most of that. Lost at Clemson. Beat Georgia Tech by 9 at Georgia Tech, and they crushed Miami. I thought everything was solved when I saw them cruise against Miami, but no. Hey, welcome in here, my man Kevin. I'm sorry to hear that, bud. Jeez. It's crazy, man. Crazy season. I was not expecting this at all. Wake Forest. Wake Forest getting a W over Duke. Insane. Hey, welcome in Tiger Raven on the channel here. Insane. Thanks so much, Kevin, for being a part here on the stream. Anything, brother. I'm here for you guys. I know how you feel, my man. This is just an insane night of college basketball. That's why I never bet on any of these games. Never bet because you never know. NC State against UNC, they're playing tonight? I'll take a look at that right now. Thanks so much for the update. Christian, please. Yep, cannot believe they lost again on Patel. Crazy season for college basketball. Let's see here, ACC. We're going to update you guys for the scoreboard. Yep, North Carolina leading by 3 right now against NC State. Score just changed 40-37. Georgia Tech leading at halftime against Clemson 34-29. So those are the 3 games going on right now in college basketball. UNC had already beat NC State earlier this year as well. Let's see what else we got. College basketball scrolling around. Let's see. Scroll over to the Big 12. Let's see what we got. Baylor cruising against K-State. Iowa State beat TCU tonight 65-59. And we're at halftime in this one as Oklahoma desperate as they're up by 10, 32-22 at halftime. Big 10. We'll take a look at the Big 10 for you guys in just a moment. Only one game today, and I called that one earlier. Michigan State beat Iowa 78-70. Let's see what else we got. A10. We'll go over to A10 right now for you guys. Yep, 9-point lead. So they had 1:21. I was trying to figure out what the time was because I saw it was around like 1.5 minutes, and I remember they were up by 9 when I last checked the score. That is crazy. 1:21 left to go in the game. Turned to his dad, said, well, they should be okay. And then, like, what? They're going into overtime. And then they go into double overtime and lose. Just insane. Crazy. Davidson just destroyed LaSalle. 74-49. I know LaSalle has been, like, bottom of the conference for the A10, but still, Davidson's cruising past players here by, like, 30, or cruising past teams by, like, 30-plus points. Let's see what we got. SEC. Got a couple of SEC games in here today. Mississippi State. Oh, that's a huge game. Mississippi State taking on Alabama for the bubble. Mississippi State leads 41-39 at halftime, and the other 2 games were victories by Kentucky and Auburn early today against their opponents. Yep, run out of the gym and double OT. Absolutely nothing. Wow. I remember last year they took on Wake Forest, and Wake Forest almost got the game-winning shot. It rolled around the rim, and then it stopped like right on the front rim and went out. Yeah, Dayton beat George Mason. Closer than you think right there. It was on the road at George Mason. Yep, looks like bye-bye to the 2 seed for Duke right now. They're going to be falling to a 3, and if Colgate can get to a 14, that'll be a tight matchup. If Colgate gets paired up with Duke, that could very well be a tight matchup there with Colgate being a team that nobody wants to play in the bracket, saying that they got back most of their seniors from last year. They haven't played anybody good, but just watch out for that team. They could possibly win a game in the first round or so. I'm just going to take a look here. Bracketology. See who's on like the 14 seed projected line. Bowling Green just absolutely hammered today Akron, as that was number 1, number 2 in the conference. Hey, welcome in, my man Bobby here from Butcher's Block and Patriot Stock. Thanks so much, brother, for stopping by here. As right now we're just at halftime between these two teams. Oklahoma trying to survive for dear life to get into the tournament right now. They're in one of the last seeds into the tournament for one of the playing games as a 12 seed. Let's see, we're going to take a look right now. 14 seeds. Number 14 seeds look like this. Hofstra, New Mexico State. New Mexico State, I believe, is still undefeated in conference play. Colgate, UC Irvine, who beat Kansas State last year as a 13. Yeah, that could be interesting. Interesting matchup if Colgate does land up with Duke. New Mexico State as well. They took Auburn right down to the wire last season. 15 seeds, and it's kind of far-fetched there with Montana and South Dakota State, but you honestly never know. Never know at all. Bobby putting out if that matchup does last year, he puts it in here as well. Duke, he calls it out right now. They're going to lose to Colgate bucket. I would take that as well. Colgate played Tennessee really close last season. Their leading scorer, Rapulus Ivan Stauskas, last year, he during like the first portion of that game, I think it was like 5 minutes into the game, he lost his eye contacts, and he didn't have an extra eye contacts he brought to the game, so unfortunately he couldn't play for the rest of the game for that one. So they had no leading scorer for the rest for Colgate for that game. They played Tennessee close throughout though, and they basically got most of their starting 5 back in the offseason for Colgate. They're running over everybody in the conference, though. Boston University took them on last week. BU is number 2 in the conference. They were no match for Colgate at all. They were just running away from it. Looks like Vermont's probably a 12 seed, most likely. So they're not going to meet up with Duke unless Duke keeps on losing games. Yeah, Ant putting out, if they don't put Kentucky a 3 seed now, he doesn't know what to say. They keep on putting them as a 4. Dude, ranked number 8 in the nation. Gotta be, as low as a 3. Hitting a 2. Gotta put this team as a 2 seed right now. Don't care if it's against Evansville, who, it was before they fired their head coach. Close loss to Evansville. Close loss against Utah, which they played at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, which is out towards Utah's time zone, where Kentucky had to travel out to that game. So that's basically like a home game more for Utah than what it actually was for Kentucky traveling all out to Las Vegas to play in that game. And the game tipped off at 11 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock Eastern time. So it's just the close games, and of course the luck of the buzzer beater by South Carolina. Yep, Colgate steamed BU twice in a row. They took on them, I think it was at home against BU last week. They crushed them. So just Colgate's just no match. Like everybody else trying to take them on, and Colgate's just rolling right past them in the Patriot League. Hey, welcome back in, that Asian kid. Man, Duke just defensively here, they just crack under pressure. Like these road games this season, Duke is just they just can't defend at all. It's a problem. Major problem, and they're not going to be going far at all in the tournament. Hey, welcome in Bradley here. I appreciate my man for stopping by in the channel once again. I'm doing pretty well tonight. Let's see, I haven't checked to see what they allowed Wake Forest to shoot the ball at. I'm going to see that right now. What in the world did they shoot the ball at? Let's see. Wow. Yeah, that tells the tale. 55% from the floor by Wake Forest from 3-point range. 52 as a team. They went 35 for 68 from the floor shooting. 52 as a team. That's not the first time that Duke has given up a game like that because of poor defense. Clemson, they let Clemson right in there. Yep, NC State was just shooting lights out on them. It's the duos. The 2 leading scorers, whoever those are on, unlike every single team this season, they just go off against Duke's defense. And there was Markel Johnson and Devon Daniels for NC State. Crushed them by 22. It was a Clyde Trapp and Amir Sims for Clemson. It was Audice Toney. He went off for Pittsburgh in that game. They're lucky that they were able to escape Pittsburgh as well. They have definitely top 25 wins in there. Duke for sure is top 25 wins. They got the win against Florida State. It was at Florida State. They won a couple weeks ago, which I don't follow at all. They won at Florida State. Or no, they won at home against Florida State. So check that. They won at home against Florida State 70-65. They would have got crushed if it was at Tallahassee, though, I bet you. Because you take a look at the last few road games. At Wake Forest today, losing double overtime by 12. Just completely gassed, 113-101. Lost by 22 at NC State. Won against Duke. Won at UNC in OT. Just by the luck that Trey Jones was able to get a buzzer beater. Then Wendell Moore with a game-winning putback. Barely survived at Boston College, 63-55. And they won at Syracuse 97-88. Which they scored 97 somehow. But 88 still a lot by Syracuse. Oh, let's see here. Okay, so Dayton there were the top 25 wins. I'll take a look at that. I honestly not sure. I gotta see if there's anybody, because maybe they played some. Yeah, they lost to Colorado. And they lost to Kansas. Actually, yeah, they have 0 top 25 victories. St. Mary's, they won against. Yeah, these teams all aren't in the top 25. Georgia, Virginia Tech, St. Mary's. None of these teams are in the top 25 that they won against. So, they have 0 wins in the top 25. As we're back to action here. Second half of basketball action. Getting started right now. This one from Oklahoma, 10-point game. So we're back in. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit the like, hit the sub, as I call play-by-play. Texas Tech with the ball. Deep 2, it's up. No good off the back iron. Rebound Oklahoma. Sooners with the ball. Takes it past the half-court logo. Austin Reeves has it. Right wing perimeter. Reeves dribbles top of the key. Passes that one off. Ball stolen away. Texas Tech. 2-on-1 fast break going up. They put, nice pass. Low post to finish it off right there. Kevin McCullough for 2. It's an 8-point game. 19 minutes left to go. First minute through the second half. Oklahoma with the ball now up by 8. They have it at the left elbow. Moves it back top of the key. Pass inside. Low post Doolittle. Doolittle. Bounce pass into the key. Manic. Backdoor cut. Slams it home for 2. Ohio State. Really, man? He honestly thinks Rhode Island's better than Dayton? Really, dude? I'm a Rhode Island fan. I wouldn't go that far, though. Would not go that far. All you have to do is basically lock up Fats Russell. Now, Rhode Island's a top 15 team in steals. They're a scrappy team that can get after the ball and steal the ball. They're super duper fast up the court. Because Fats Russell, he is so tough to defend. It's all about the matchups there. Rhode Island's really undersized. I think their whole roster is basically like 6'7" and below for URI. So they don't have the size there. So if they take on a team like an Ohio State, they're going to have difficulty with teams with size. Whereas they take on a smaller type of team in the tournament and able to score points on them, that could pose a problem. Because URI is fast up the court. They can lock up the perimeter pretty efficiently too. Low post, Oklahoma gets the block in the key, and they're going to get the basketball right back. They have a left wing. Reeves passes off top of the key. 18-15 left to go. Yep, Dayton versus Rhode Island. It's next Tuesday. Is the matchup. 9 Eastern time over on the CBS Sports Network. In the key, lots of contact and no fouls. Oklahoma gets the ball stolen away. Texas Tech with it. Bounce pass. Chris Clark gets it up and in right there with a layup for 2. It's an 8-point game. Yes, indeed, and Creighton for sure looking dangerous. Right now, I've got them in the Elite 8. They got 4 solid players, I believe, who's averaging just over 10 per game right now. Top of the key to Manic with the basketball for Oklahoma. 17:40 left to go, and we get a foul away from the ball. It's committed by Texas Tech. Dayton is a 2 or 1 seed. Kristen puts out here. Yeah, it all depends on what happens above Dayton right now. If those teams start dropping games, if San Diego State keeps on losing games, Dayton would go right now into a 1 seed. if they drop some more games. Yep, it was Dayton beat George Mason on the road today, 62-55. Manick swings it over to the right wing perimeter. Bieniemy with the basketball, Oklahoma. So it's closer than what I expected for sure tonight. UMass played Dayton really close, and it was at the Mullins Center at UMass. Jumper, that one's up and good by Oklahoma for 2. Back to 10. Hey, guess who's in the house? My man Alex from the DMV Sportsnet. Thanks so much for stopping by here. I appreciate it, my man. They have it at the left wing perimeter for Texas Tech. Dribble jive inside with the right hand. Too hard off the backboard. No good by Jamias Ramsey. Rebounds by Oklahoma. Manick makes his move inside. Low post in the spin move. Puts it up and in off the backboard for 2. 38-26. I bet you that Rhode Island's going to go back to the drawing board and have somebody else different cover Obi Toppin for the next game, because that game plan by David Cox did not work at all during the last time they took him on. That's why they were down 17-0. Texas Tech low post. Moretti, floater, misses it. Missing the key rebound, Oklahoma. 16:30 left to go. Oklahoma has it at the right wing perimeter. Handoff now into the hands of Reeves. Makes his move inside. Floats it up. It's good for 2 by the Sooners. They're up now by 14. Hey, welcome in Eric here over on Sportscaster. Thanks so much, bud, for stopping by right now. 14-point Oklahoma lead, trying to survive for dear life on the bubble. 16:29 left to go. Hey, welcome back on YouTube here. Vaughn, thanks so much for stopping by here. Looks like John must have wrapped up his stream tonight. So Alex and Vaughn coming over from Off the Wall Hockey stream to mine. Yep, Dayton beat URI, so they could probably beat them. And yep, Vegas Vix for sure. His team is from favorite team is Rhode Island, since he is from the Ocean State. I'm right outside from URI. By the way, I'm going to the URI game coming up on Sunday. They're going to take on St. Louis. St. Louis 8-6 in the conference, but they got a pretty good record of themselves this season. So yeah, great matchup in store. Next Tuesday, I believe, is Dayton at 26-2. Rhode Island 19-7 right now, trying to improve to 20-7. They should be able to do that tomorrow. They take on Fordham, who is at the very bottom of the A10. Yeah, I agree there. And if San Diego State loses one more game, they're going to be a 2 seed, because that Mountain West is just, besides Utah State, basically the rest of the Mountain West is just not all well in the Mountain West Conference. Yep, for sure, Eric. Major, major bracket buster. Could not believe that Duke lost to Wake Forest today. 113-101. That is a problem. Problem. I would circle a matchup in there, Duke against Colgate. If that matchup ever happens in the bracket, I will tell you, I like Colgate. I like to take Colgate in that matchup against Duke. Duke lost to Wake Forest. Wake Forest. What is the chances of having Olympics this summer? I still think that they're going to have the Olympics this summer, Vaughn. I still like the chances, but no problem, Eric. I understand. Like, I was saying that myself, man. I still like the chances for the Olympics this summer, though. Even if they're going to have to make a decision, I think, by May, if they're moving it over to London. What happened to Butler? Butler's collapsed, too. Butler's lost, like, the past couple of, So, yeah, Carey got fouled out. He only scored 10 points, so once Carey gets fouled out, he is basically the main go-to scoring in the game. That basically sparks trouble there for Duke, because he's the go-to scorer. Because Wake Forest was down by 9. I think it was Kevin earlier on the chat. He said like a minute 19 left to go. Wake Forest trailing by 9, came back and tied it up, went into overtime. Crazy. Oh, man, dude, I'm going to have to check the news later, Vegas Fix, about that. I'm probably going to hear that on the morning news when I wake up tomorrow. Yeah, Eric. West Virginia's killed themselves in conference play. They shouldn't even be a 5 seed right now. The bracketologists put them as a 5 seed. Dude, they're playing like they don't even deserve to be in the tournament. I saw an article that said locks for the tournament, and ESPN had coined West Virginia as a lock for the tournament. I'm like, how are they a lock for the tournament? They could legit lose the remaining part of their schedule, and they can go from a 5 seed to being a play-in, which they're doing right now. We're back to action. 16 minutes left to go. Texas Tech missed a shot, and the key gets rebounded by Oklahoma. Sooners with the ball, up by 14. They have it now at the top of the key with Doolittle. Doolittle looking to pass it, swings it over left wing to Bieniemy. Bieniemy with the basketball, dribble drive into the key, passes out to Reeves. Reeves with the ball now at the top of the free throw circle. Dribbles back out top of the key, Austin Reeves with the basketball. 15:50 left to go. Reeves looking to pass it over to Manick. Manick takes a three. It is up and hits the front rim. No good. Rebound Texas Tech. They got to get something starting here with the offense for Texas Tech because it's been struggling tonight. Shot fake. McCullough passes over to Clark. Clark, left elbow. Moves it over back to McCullough. Now to the top of the key here to Edwards. Edwards with the basketball. Passes over to Kevin McCullough at the left wing. Texas Tech down by 14 over to Chris Clark. They need somebody to spark the shooting. They got nothing tonight so far. Moretti. Bounce pass to Chris Clark. Terrible pass and it's stolen right away. Oklahoma with a 14-point game. Passing into the key, and Manick could not finish. Gets the offensive rebounds. Texas Tech forgot to box out, and Manick puts it up and in for two. This is an ugly game tonight here by Texas Tech. They cannot hit a shot. Brady Manick with 13. Hey, welcome in here, Chris S. For sure, man. Big time upset. Wow, Duke is just on the road this season. Duke is just struggling defensively. It's a problem. 42-36. Got a timeout here taken on the court right now. Eric putting out, he's just going to drop West Virginia to like a 9 seed or something. This is getting ridiculous. Dude, they rank them at number 20. And they got a conference record that's under 500. Like, how in the world does this team even deserve to be ranked? Let's see here. Where do I think Devon Dotson's going to be picked in the NBA draft? Probably see. He looks like a first rounder to me. I would go probably around like the 20s or so for Dotson. I'll go probably around 20s or so. I see a lot of the analysts with that, and I feel like him and Azubuike are probably going to be around like 15, 20, 25 range most likely. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by tonight, Ohio State basketball. You guys were awesome here on the channel. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your night. Do I remember about talks about canceling, Summer Olympics in Rio back in 2016? I remember that, Vaughn. So currently we're just on break. These shots just not falling tonight for Texas Tech. Shooting a very poor 28%, 11 for 40 from the field, and nobody can put a spark into it. I do plan on streaming tomorrow. I think it's NBA tomorrow. Grizzlies versus Houston Rockets. I believe that's the ESPN game for tomorrow. We've got a couple scoreboard updates. We'll take a look here. Baylor won against Kansas State tonight, 85-66. The rest of the games have already finished. I updated all those earlier tonight, so this is the only top 25 game currently in progress. Actually, I'm going to scroll over SEC. We'll see what's going on with that Alabama game. That's a massive game for the bubble. Alabama versus Mississippi State. Mississippi State leads 53-48. Alabama just got a jumper right there in the key, so they made that one. So 53-48, Mississippi State up by 5 with 15 minutes left to go. We got 15 minutes left to go here. And Oklahoma is up by quite a bit, 42-26. Yeah, that Asian kid putting out, he was surprised that Malik Newman was undrafted. Yeah, man, it's a lot of players that I was shocked out with their draft or so. I can't believe Joe Lunardi has West Virginia as a 5 seed. So they have them as a 5 seed right now. No way. No way. Hey, thanks so much, Ant, for stopping by here. Gonna go to sleep and third day in my stream. He loves it. Looking forward to the next one. I appreciate my man, my Kentucky fan here out on the channel. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much, Ant Bud, once again. That's a 3 taken left wing perimeter. And Texas Tech finally hit something with TJ Holyfield. 42-29, 14:40 left to go. Oklahoma right now is a 12 seed in the playing game. Texas Tech as a 7. Kansas and Baylor is a 1, but West Virginia is a 5. Like, come on. Come on here. They keep on losing games. Oklahoma with the basketball. Top of the key, they dribble now, makes their move inside, puts it up, hits the front rim, no good. Rebound, Texas Tech. We'll see if they have any spark in the comeback tonight here by the Red Raiders. Texas Tech. Shannon takes the jumper, right elbow off the mark, no good. Tipped around, rebound by Oklahoma. That's the problem. They just can't get the scoring anywhere from the court tonight. Hey, welcome in. Hello, Didi. Thanks so much for stopping by here again. 14 minutes left to go. 13-point lead, Oklahoma to get the basketball. Trying to survive on dear life right now for the Sooners. Left baseline. They swing it back out on top here for Bieniemy. It's been just this game has been rough to watch with a lot of missed shots. Texas Tech has been on that type of end tonight. They just can't hit the shots. Eric here would comment on how bad Texas Tech is playing, but after that Louisville game, can't really speak without being a hypocrite, though. It's because they were able to stop Jordan Nwora. That's the thing with Louisville. It's basically everything goes through Jordan Nwora, and that's the problem with them. That's the flaw that they have with Oregon as well. Everything goes through Peyton Pritchard. That's the problem there. That's the problem with Rhode Island. Everything goes through Fats Russell for Rhode Island, even though they got the rebounds with Cyril Langevin, and that's why they didn't beat Davison, because he shot the ball just, it was low from the floor that he shot the ball. We got a fall underneath the basket. It's going to be offensive by Oklahoma, so the ball goes back to Texas Tech. 13:30 left to go in the second half. Texas Tech with the basketball. Whereas I can bring up a couple of other teams that play like a team. This one, it's kind of like there's not really like a leading scorer for Texas Tech. Oklahoma, it's basically Christian Doolittle with a little bit of Brady Manick this season. That ball tipped up in the key, goes out of bounds as it stops the clock with 13:24. But what makes great teams play great is there's no iron team. And that's what I really like about Kentucky this season. Emmanuel Quickly, Nick Richards, Tyrese Maxey, Ashton Hagans. Off the bench with Johnny Juzang. I mean, they play so well together as a team. Michigan State, it's kind of like a duo this season. Cassius Winston and Xavier Tillman. Even though Rocket Watts has emerged as a number 3 threat scoring, if they can keep up the production there with Rocket Watts, they're a team to watch out for in the tournament. Whereas other teams just rely on that one dude. And that's the problem there. Florida State. Yesterday, great example. Florida State. Team play. 9 different scorers that they had on the team scoring that game. They had, I think a couple of games back, they had 13 different players score in one of their games for Florida State. That jumper, no good. Shot clock violation by Oklahoma. Ball goes back to Texas Tech. It's been a rough one to watch tonight. 12:45 left to go. Texas Tech with only 29 points on the board. Passing in the key. That ball tipped out of bounds by Oklahoma. Texas Tech will get it back here as they'll inbound it in the front court. Yep, Stephen A. Smith is on Sports Center tomorrow. Vaughn puts out here. Yep, I agree with you with that Asian kid. Houston really needs a center because I don't think that this small ball stuff is going to be basically sustainable. It's been working now, but I don't think you could sustain that in the playoffs. Oklahoma playing defense. Texas Tech passes. Right wing perimeter. Spin move inside. Oh, with a block by Oklahoma right there. Sooners will get it back. They have it at the left wing. Making their move, and that will be an offensive foul in the lane by Jalen Hill, the Sooners. Jamias Ramsey that is actually Clarence Nadolny who takes the charge for Texas Tech, and the ball goes back to the Red Raiders. Hey, no problem, Didi. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. That's awesome. Didi went to Buffalo Wild Wings, watching Kentucky play and having a few drinks. Awesome. Yep, and then seen good old Duke, which with a D turned into a P basically today in that game. Duke just with a puke against Wake Forest in today's game. That was a shocker. Wake Forest goes into double OT, and Duke looked like they were gassed in that one, and Wake Forest beat them by 12. In the key, Texas Tech puts up the jumper. Finally, I get to change the scoreboard. We get some points. 42-31, 12 minutes left to go. As Texas Tech finally scores, Oklahoma with the basketball. Past half court. Massive, massive game going on for the bubble right now. They have it. Left baseline puts up the jumper, and that one's off the mark. We get a fall on the low post, and should have free throws coming up at the line. So we get a stoppage in time. We're going to have a stoppage in time first. 11:54 left to go, so timeout on the court. Bismack Biyombo or Tristan Thompson for Houston. I'll go Tristan Thompson there for Houston. Because I know he's on the market. And they're going to need somebody. Yeah, Eric putting it out here. That is so true. That 7 minutes without a score for Texas Tech. Must have been nice to have like all 4 or 5 star recruits to make your lineup. LOL. He puts out. Yeah, some of the teams don't though. Kansas is one really good example. Is Kansas? They're just top to bottom, just so solid. That's why they're the #1 team in basketball. Dotson does carry the team in scoring, but when Dotson is down, other players are there to pick him up. Azubuike has been a beast, a double machine lately. He is just on top of his game. Marcus Garrett, an incredible defender. They're just so deep there as a team for Kansas. They look like right now to go to the Final Four. No problem, DD. That was basically what Duke did tonight, basically. They will be a #1 seed next week. I think she's pointing about for Kentucky. That's gonna be really tough for Kentucky though to get a #1 seed though, because everything out in front they would need like losses out in front. That's the thing. Like they're ranked #8. But I don't get why in the world people have them at like a #4 seed. Like, come on, you got to put them at a 3 or a 2. Like, 3 at least. 2 looks reasonable for Kentucky. Like, they lost to Evansville. Okay, that game was all the way back in November. Okay, so they lost to Evansville. They lost against Utah. Well, the loss against Utah was at T-Mobile Arena. It's in Utah's region. It's in Las Vegas. They played the game at 11 o'clock at night. They lost by 3. So you can't take that away. I mean, even though it's on the resume, I mean, it's a close loss. It's not like they lose by 12 in double OT. Oh, Duke will be #1. She puts out here. Oh, man, it'd be funny if they ever get to that 1 seed ever again, but nope, no chance. No chance right now Duke ever goes to #1, but all these bracketologists, either way, Duke is so overrated. So overrated. They're going to be a 3 seed, I hope. I hope they be a 3 seed. And if they get that matchup against Colgate, it all depends on the matchup, though. If they get that matchup against Colgate, I'm not shy to pick Colgate over Duke. If that matchup does get produced in the tournament. Vaughn here, heard that they won't move the Olympics or postpone the Olympics. Oh, wow. So, yeah, I remember you told me a couple of days ago that they were thinking about London to step in and host it in case. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely buy that. But yeah, I know she was being sarcastic there. Yep, Duke loses to unranked teams, doesn't drop. Yep, that's probably what's going to happen in the rankings. They're going to keep them inside the top 10. Against Wake Forest, who has, like, coming into that game, they had 11 wins. 11 wins by Wake Forest. 11:34 left to go now in the second half. The ball just went out of bounds. Chasing after the basketball is Texas Tech, I think, lost control of it out of bounds. Oklahoma should get it back. It's actually going to be out on Oklahoma, so Texas Tech will get back to basketball. Texas Tech, top of the key, 11:25 left to go. Dribbling left wing, swings it back out to the free throw circle, makes their move inside. And now they pass it back out to the right wing. Texas Tech, right baseline dribble, low post, passes back outside. That's a 3, taken, no good. They can't hit it. Off the mark, no good. Rebound, Oklahoma. Oklahoma with the basketball, dribbles past half court. Duke only one spot down, got blown out by 22. Blown out by 22 points. And Providence doesn't even receive a vote into the AP Top 25 poll. They don't even receive a vote. They're playing lights out lately. Providence is playing like a top 15 team in college basketball. If they keep on playing like this, they play like a complete team. They have found their mojo with LaJuan Pipkins. He transferred over from UMass to play in Providence transferred over in the offseason. He is playing lights out right now. He wasn't able to find that identity during November and December. This team is playing like a team. David Duke, Alpha Diallo, Lawan Pipkins. It is a team there in Providence. And they should actually be having some type of consideration to AP poll. Like, not ranked, but at least receive a vote. 44-31, Oklahoma just put up the shot. 10:32 left to go. Texas Tech with the ball. And we got another foul on the low post. And it's going to be on Texas Tech, so it goes back to Oklahoma. Vegas Vic's got a really bold Final Four. I think I've got the same one right now, bud, I think. Kentucky in the Final Four, Dayton, Kansas. Oh, he's going, nah, not Kansas. I've got Kansas in mind. Last year I had Duke, and with all that talent, Zion, RJ, and Cam Reddish, and they couldn't even get past Michigan State in Elite 8. 44-31, Oklahoma in the key. We got a lot of contact, and that's going to be a foul. Foul by Oklahoma offensive as they just ran over Texas Tech, and it's going to go back here to the Red Raiders. Creighton, I've got Creighton in my Elite 8 right now. Depending on how they play, though, they can move up. I had Seton Hall a couple weeks ago in my Sweet 16. In my Final Four for Seton Hall. Now I have them back in the Sweet 16. I feel like they're a favorite by a bunch of people in the Final Four. And I'm not going to fall for Seton Hall. Because they're one player. They're Miles Powell. Even though they're a little bit of Jared Rhoden and Mamu Kalashvili as well. And Quincy McKnight. They're a little bit of them, but basically more of Miles Powell. Texas Tech with the ball. They have it at the right baseline. So I'll put Seton Hall right there in the Sweet 16. Because I don't like how they played it all against St. John's back on Sunday. I watched the first half, and they should have lit up St. John's. They should have been up by 30 at halftime. They were only up, I think, by like 10 points at halftime. Missed shot. What else is new by Texas Tech? Rebound Oklahoma. 9:40 left to go. Sooners with the basketball. Top of the key to Harmon. Harmon. Bounce pass over to the left wing perimeter. Sooners have it. Look at the pass into the key over to Manick. Manick swings it around the right wing here to Reeves. Reeves puts up the floater. Air ball. And there's going to be a foul underneath. Stops the clock with 9:26. So, yeah, Vegas Vic's actually is serious now. But, yeah, Kansas in Final Four. Just got to see it, though. Oh, what did I have? Oh, I had Florida State. I had basically the three same as you. Kentucky, Dayton, Kansas, and then Florida State. I got Florida State because it's not one scorer out of the team. It's not Trent Forrest. It's not MJ Walker only. It's not... It's not the Devin Vassell show over at Florida State. It's multiple players there that score. They got a deep bench. They got player after player chipping in for FSU this season. 44-31 the score. Inbound coming up in the key. 9:26 left to go. We got Oklahoma's going to inbound it. First time they inbound it, ball got tipped out of bounds. So they're going to inbound it right again in the front court. Yep, I remember that, DD. I remember calling that game in the Elite 8. And I remember Kentucky had beaten them before during the season. Maryland will be in the Sweet 16, yes. It's just the only thing with Maryland is they got a good lineup. They got a good lineup. The only thing is consistency there that's holding back for Maryland. .13 game, 9:26 remaining. They inbound it. Spin move at the free throw circle. Jumper. Doolittle has got it. They got 46 on the board in a very low-scoring game. Texas Tech with the basketball. Dribble drive inside with a left hand. It's blocked from behind. Texas Tech gets it back. Puts up the jumper. No good off the mark. Doolittle with the rebounds. It all depends on the matchup there with Louisville. That's where I have it. Because if Louisville gets like a Vermont or something like that, ooh, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be tough. Vermont, Stephen F. Austin. Nobody wants to play Stephen F. Austin. Jumper and a turnaround. No good by Oklahoma. Rebound Texas Tech. East Tennessee. That's another one. East Tennessee State, I feel like, can pull off an upset. I got a bunch of teams to get upset in the first round. Arizona, Butler, West Virginia. Those teams I'm not feeling at all in the first round right now. Oklahoma goes off the missed shot by Texas Tech. Dribble drive into the key. Floats it up, and it's going to be goaltending. This game has been rough to watch. Goaltending by Texas Tech, so Oklahoma gets credited with a bucket by Bieniemy. 8:37 left to go. It's last four in as the 12 seed for Oklahoma at the moment. That is what we get with them here. They don't really have much quality victories. The best win was against West Virginia, at home against West Virginia, who they take on coming up for Oklahoma. Again, they take on West Virginia, as that game is on Saturday. Texas Tech with the basketball, right corner of the perimeter now. Takes the jumper off the mark, no good. Rebound Oklahoma. This is rough here for the shooting for Texas Tech. Cannot hit a shot at all. No looks at all. 27% from the floor. They're 13 for 52. Oklahoma with the basketball. A lot of contact at half court. And a foul picked up by the Red Raiders by number 21 for Texas Tech on the court. That's Avery Benson who picked up the foul. It'll be the first time that the Olympics is canceled since 1944, Vaughn puts, if they are canceled this summer. Yeah, I just don't imagine it happening, though, Vaughn. I just don't, but we'll see. Crazy. I would feel so sad if they do cancel the Olympics. 4 years of preparing to watch a Summer Olympics, and that happens. Gets, unfortunately, with what the coronavirus has done. Yep, indeed, DD. This season just so unreal for sure. Everybody can win. This tournament's just so wide open. Like, the whole season basically resets. Like, there are teams, like, that I would not want to see in the first round. Like, if I'm Kentucky, I would not want to see Vermont in the first round. I would not want to see Vermont. I would not want to see Stephen F. Austin. Because I feel like the first round matchup is the toughest one. Auburn went to the Final Four and they won by 1 against New Mexico State in the first round. I feel like the first round matchup for most of the teams is always the toughest game. I would not want to see East Tennessee State in the first round either. It all depends on the matchup. I hope they get put in matchups with like Butler and West Virginia and teams that I have that I'm not high on, like in Arizona. Instead of like a good team where I'm like, yeah, I can pick Stephen F. Austin, but it all depends on who they get matched up with. If they take on like a Kentucky or somebody like a Florida State, yikes! I'm not gonna pick Stephen F. Austin over them, but it could very well happen. But I see it over more like a team like a Butler or something like that. So currently we're just on break. We're gonna get back to action here a couple minutes from now, everyone. Thanks so much for stopping by. Rough night going on scoring-wise for Texas Tech. Chris Clark is the leading scorer, and he's only got 8 points. That is it for Texas Tech. Oklahoma leading scorer tonight, 13 points by Brady Manick. We got a scoreboard update. I'll take a look at the Alabama game, actually. I'm going to take a look at. They take on Mississippi State right now. So that game is going on. As far as the bubble, major tournament implications going on. 66-61, Mississippi State leading Alabama for the bubble. 7:30 left remaining. As we're just on a TV timeout on break here at the moment. DD's Final Four. That is the same as me right there. Final Four for DD as well. Kansas, Kentucky, Dayton, and Florida State. I'm really impressed with what Florida State did yesterday. They came back, beat Louisville. And I like their team. What all those teams say about their team right there is that it's not one player. And Obi Toppin, I feel like a lot of people think that Obi Toppin is the Dayton Flyers, but no, they got Jalen Crutcher. They got a lot of players there on Dayton that can produce. That's why. But it starts off with Obi Toppin, but also Ryan Mikesell, Ibby Watson off the bench. That team is basically an all-senior core. Let's see, Eric on Sportscaster putting out number 1 seeds, Baylor, Kansas, Florida State, Villanova. He puts out for his number 1 seeds. Number 2 seeds, Dayton, Creighton, Gonzaga, Kentucky. Thoughts? That would be interesting if Florida State's able to jump Gonzaga. Wow. Yeah, right now Gonzaga's a 1, but anything could happen basically. If Gonzaga does lose again, they're going to go to a 2-seed line, but I don't see that happening just yet here. Florida State has an easy, like, friendly schedule, though, for the rest of the season. I think they got Clemson, I think. They got Boston College, I believe, to close out the schedule. They have another easy opponent. 48-31 now, 7:50 left to go. That was an air ball out of bounds by Oklahoma. Oh, low-scoring game here tonight. At least it's better than the Georgetown-Tennessee game back from 2012 that had the final score 38-36, I think. Texas Tech low post puts it up. That shot is good for 2 by Chris Clark. He gets fouled as well, and Clark going to go to the free throw line and shoot the and one. Vegas Vix like the way Houston has played, and they're at number 25. Yeah, the American's just an interesting conference this season. I'm not really sold on the American Conference this year. But I watched a lot of UConn for basketball. Because usually I go over my girlfriend's house like quite a bit on Sundays. And we usually have the CBS Sports Network on. And UConn always plays at like noontime or 2 p.m. over on a Sunday or so. So we watch a little bit together. And I'm just not impressed with the games that they have. Low-scoring games, not a whole lot of good shooting from the floor with UConn versus like a Wichita State. Over on the weekend, or versus a Tulsa. I saw that game against Tulsa, against Memphis. Like a lot of those games, or actually they took on South Florida this week, and I think it was Wichita State. They took on the one in overtime that went into double OT. But that was like the only game with good scoring. Like the game against Tulsa, that was cold shooting from the floor. Yeah, Vegas Vix putting out. Imagine if Villanova is in the Final Four. Doesn't want to see that. Vegas Vix, I should be calling Villanova Providence on Saturday, my man. So I'm hyped up to call that game. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be a lit stream. I'm thinking about doing a triple header over on Saturday. It would be Villanova Providence. That jumper is up and good by Oklahoma. They got 50 on the board. Villanova Providence at noontime. Kentucky Auburn at 3:45. And then closing out the night with Celtics Rockets at 8:30. That's what my plans are for Saturday. That's a steal. Oklahoma off the steal by Texas Tech. 7 minutes left to go. They got the basketball. They take a right corner three. Reeves off the mark. No good. Tipped. Underneath the basket. Goes out of bounds. Stops the clock with 6:56. Texas Tech will get the ball as it was out of bounds by Oklahoma. Yeah, I feel like Baylor is like a choke. When it comes to the tournament, everything resets, and I feel like Baylor will choke up. Let's go Friartown indeed. Huge matchup at Villanova for Providence on Saturday. Oh, let's see here. Eric, yep, his bracketology, awesome, man. Rumboys.com, he writes for Eric, the Rumboys writer here. He took strength of schedule into account, so that's why Gonzaga went down a lot. They do play like a bunch of non-conference games though. Like they took on, I think, Oregon in non-conference. They lost against Michigan. They got blown out against Michigan. We got a foul on the key. It's going to be offensive by Texas Tech. So Oklahoma get the basketball back. Hey, welcome in, XFL Hype. Thanks so much for stopping by again. He doesn't want the Olympics to be canceled. He is worried about the Olympics not going on because of coronavirus. All right, this is just Oklahoma just destroying Texas Tech. We're going to have to rethink the seeding here in the AP poll with Texas Tech because this is a problem. 6:36 left to go. Virtually a no-show tonight in this game. Foul committed by Texas Tech. Jamal Bieniemy will go to the free throw line with 6:36 left to go and shoot free throws. First shot, Bieniemy hits it. Out of all the games I've called this season, this game has to be one of the roughest games I've ever called. This is just a bad game to call. Like, the shots aren't going down at all. Second shot good at the free throw line. It's been a rough going on for Texas Tech. They might not even hit 40 by this rate tonight. Low post, puts it up, left elbow, banks it up and in off the backboard. It counts for two. They get fouled. 52-36. With 6.5 left to go, and Kyler Edwards will go to the free throw line. 28% shooting for Texas Tech tonight there. 15 for 54 from the floor. The shot's good by Edwards. Take that back what I just said a minute ago about the 40 points. They're going to get there. It didn't seem like that for a while. Steal by Texas Tech. They get it right back and they put it up and then... Off the backboard, and it's 39. I don't know why he just put 40. 52-39 to score. 6:15 left to go. They had 37 to get to 39. Oklahoma able to inbound that one properly this time. Bounce pass over to the left wing. Passes off Bieniemy with the basketball with 6 minutes even. Yeah, UCLA. Andy Katz had put UCLA Vegas Vixen as Power 36 this week. He had put him in last week too, and I legit thought that he was tripping himself until I saw them take down Colorado over on the weekend. We got a tie up in the key as the ball was rolling around on the ground. It's going to be Texas Tech basketball. Tie up there between Oklahoma and Texas Tech. So 5:50 left to go. Texas Tech gets it back. Texas A&M fans having KFC buckets on their head. Oh man, with a Kentucky Fried Chicken. Oh man. Texas A&M couldn't even beat Harvard back in November. Shot good for 2 right there by Texas Tech. Puts it to an interesting game. They're finally hitting their shots. 7-zip run. Double team trap set up. They almost got a steal. But we get a foul committed by Avery Benson of Texas Tech. Stops the clock with 5:30. This is going into Texas Tech's momentum right now. Massive game tonight for Utah State. Right now they're on the bracket for the last 4 byes as they take on San Jose State. That game will tip off in 15 minutes. It's an 11-point Oklahoma lead. 5:31 left remaining. 5-star recruit Christian Lander commits to Indiana. That just came up here. So Christian Doolittle coming up at the free throw line to shoot free throws. 1-1 bonus. No good off the mark. Rebound Texas Tech. Hey, there's my man John from Off the Wall Hockey. Thanks so much, brother, for liking this one. Rough game to watch in the doubleheader tonight between these two teams. Texas Tech shooting the ball at 30% from the floor, and they just lost control of the basketball. Oklahoma with a steal. Oklahoma, right now the last team in the tournament in the play-in game, as they're going to take on NC State according to ESPN. Providence in the play-in game will take on USC. But if this could be a signature win tonight, if Oklahoma can close it out in the final 5 minutes. 52-41. Under 5 left to go. Sooners with the basketball. 8 on the shot clock. Top of the key now. Into the hands. Doolittle takes a 3 off the mark. Airball. Manic with a rebound. Gets it for 2 though. Multiple air balls in this game tonight. Texas Tech with the basketball. They got it at the right wing. Passing over to Williams. Williams takes a 3. He is money. Oh, we got a... Or that's Kevin McCullough. Texas Tech took it for the 3. He drains it down. 10-point game. Colorado is ranked right now at number 21. Big oof tonight for Texas Tech. Big oof for Duke. They blew a 9-point lead with a minute 19 left to go against Wake Forest, who had a record coming into the game of 11-15. Wake Forest won the game by 12, 113-101 in double overtime. I'm telling you guys, if Duke takes on Colgate in the first round, I'm going Colgate there in the bracket. Duke's going to be a 3 seed. They could very well be matched up with Colgate as a 14. Colgate is in the Patriot League. They're blowing past teams all the way across the Patriot League right now. I think very well they can take down Duke in the first round. Yeah, Colorado at number 21 despite the loss against UCLA. I can't believe that West Virginia is a 5 seed when they got a 7-8 record in the conference. That makes 0 sense. 0 sense at all. They're just completely dropping. Yeah, looks like it for this Duke team to be out in the first round. They just can't play defense on the road. Like basically their whole team is Vernon Carey Jr. and Trey Jones a little bit of him, and Carey fouled out, and then basically he scored 10 points and fouled out. Usually he scores like most of the games he scores 20 plus or so, and when your center fouls out, it's a problem. Problem, because their bench is lacking this season for Duke. Major problem. Hey, welcome in my man Uncle Pizzle here on the channel. 3:46 a.m. Thanks so much for stopping by here. I appreciate it. And he just thought he'd say hello. Hello, my man Uncle Pizzle on the channel right now. 4.5 left to go. Oklahoma up by 10. 54-44. To get the basketball at the left wing. Austin Reeves has it. Dribbles now to the left baseline. Looking to pass it. Passes over now to Doolittle. Floater. Got it for 2. trying to survive in the bracket now for the Sooners. I'm sorry about that, Alex. My man. I'm so sorry. But yes, we will not talk about it. We can talk about Duke, though. That's what we can talk about here on the channel. 4 minutes left to go. Texas Tech. What else is new? Misses a three-point shot. Rebound, Oklahoma. Jamias Ramsey, 0 points tonight for Texas Tech. That's a problem. He had 25 against Iowa State in the last game. Oklahoma has it. Passing. Left baseline. Low post. Manic trips with the basketball. As that's going to be a foul picked up in the key by Texas Tech. It will send Oklahoma into the double bonus. Texas Tech has committed their 10th foul. Thanks so much for the update. Wow. UNC leading NC State 67-56 with 7:15 left to go. Wow. Yes, Iowa lost today, Vaughn, in the earlier game against Michigan State. 78-70. Man, talk about your chances to be in the tournament. This is your chance to rise to the occasion for NC State, and you can't even... You're down by 11 right now in the final, like, almost 7 minutes. That's a problem. It just opens up a spot for another team. Or, in my case, it's good in my case, because I want Rhode Island and Providence to be in the bracket. What that means for URI is very little margin of error. And I've got tickets to go to the game this Sunday against St. Louis. That's going to be a tough game. St. Louis is a good team. I know they're 8-6 in the conference, but they are a good team this season. I'm worried about that matchup. And they got Dayton right after that. Top 5 in the number 5 in the nation for Dayton. So that's going to be a huge statement game at the Ryan Center. If they can't pull off that game against Dayton, it gives them just a little bit of wiggle room or so. But they're going to have to win a game or two. They're going to have to make it to the A-10 semis, in my opinion. Yep, Duke lost, Chicago plays. I'm shocked. So shocked about that. Thanks so much, Alex. I appreciate it, bud. Just came here to support me. I appreciate my man. Still, man, it's not a bad loss at all. It was on the road for Iowa, so it's not a bad loss at all. And I feel like Michigan State's finding kind of like their ground or so the past couple of games for Michigan State here. After they had a bad losing streak, I feel like they're finding their rhythm with Rocket Watts being like a good option there. Do I think Colorado should be ranked at 21? Ooh. I would put them back a little bit. I would put them back probably around 20... Probably 24-25 there, since they lost against UCLA. Thank you so much, my man Enver. I appreciate it, bud. I was planning to call a Mavericks game tomorrow, but then I checked, and ESPN had flexed out the game, so unfortunately, I cannot call the Mavericks game tomorrow, because ESPN took it away. I was all excited for that, too. I was excited to call a Luka game. Because they're supposed to be taking on San Antonio tomorrow. They replaced it with a Memphis Grizzlies game. Grizzlies, who are 28-28 versus the Rockets. So I guess ESPN wants to see some more small ball. Am I going to stream doing the Olympics? Maybe a little bit on Sportscaster, Vaughn. If it's basketball, I'll do a basketball over on here. I'm just going to have to check to see if it's an actual basketball game and not a replay. That's the thing. Because a lot of those Olympic stuff, they put on like replays, usually. Yeah, they flexed out the game. Same as the Celtics. I was looking forward to the Celtics Jazz. They play tomorrow, but then they play each other again sometime in March. But they replaced it with a Pelicans game because ESPN has fallen in dear love of Zion. So they replaced the Celtics Jazz game with a Pelicans game. I think it's Pelicans Heat that night. First shot good at the free throw line. Or actually, yeah, 56-44 is the score. Yep, it's 56-44 here. As Manic missed that one. It's rebounds. 3:40 left to go. That's a jumper taken. That one's up and that one's good. Texas Tech. They just struggled throughout shooting this game. If they had been able to make shots like that, it would have been a whole lot closer. Kevin McCullough with 13. Manic with the basketball. 3.5 left remaining. Yeah, they keep on swapping out other teams' games to put on the Pelicans all the time now on ESPN. It's not fair to the other people as well. I will be streaming tomorrow, I believe. I should be covering it's the one I just said there. Grizzlies versus the Rockets. So it's Memphis versus Houston tomorrow for the NBA. I believe I'll be doing that one since ESPN has that. Oklahoma, first shot, free throw line goes down. We got 3:16 left to go. But I had planned out to do my stream for the Dallas Mavericks and everything. I even created a thumbnail for it for the Mavericks Spurs game. And then I looked today and I'm like, why is this blank here? Why? I thought ESPN was supposed to pick it up. And then ESPN flexed it out and swapped with the Memphis Grizzlies, who are 28-28. 3:10 left to go. Second shot good at the free throw line. 12-point game. Texas Tech missed the jumper and a key rebound. Oklahoma. We approach the 3-minute mark. Sooners past the half-court trap. They have it left wing. Into the hands now of Williams. Williams passing over left baseline. Swigs it out to the right wing. Over to Reeves. Reeves with the basketball passes back out to the top. Oregon ranked at 14, but they're below Colorado in the standings. Doesn't make sense at all. I think UCLA is number 2 in the Pac-12. Arizona State's number 1. That's what I don't get. Arizona State should have been ranked. Jumper, that one's good by Oklahoma. 60-46. How in the world is West Virginia ranked at 7 and 8 in the conference, and Arizona State's number 1 in the Pac-12, and they're not even ranked? Steal into the key, and Oklahoma goes dribble drive into the lane, lays it up and in for 2. 62-46. Basically a no-show tonight by Texas Tech. This is a sad game. I'm starting to wonder why. I'm starting to wonder about Texas Tech too. They lost against Oklahoma State. I saw them lost a couple weeks ago against Oklahoma State. This is just a bad game tonight. Terrible, terrible game for them tonight here. In these circumstances, getting blown out against Oklahoma. It should be a close game right now. You're number 22 in the nation. Texas Tech with the basketball. They have it at the left wing perimeter. Oklahoma would have dropped out of the field if they had lost tonight. They're playing desperate, yet they're not playing like great basketball because Texas Tech basically a no-show. Backdoor cut, puts it up. And in off the backboard, that one's up and good for 2. 14-point game, 2 minutes remaining. Oklahoma with the ball now. Dribbles past the half-court logo. Swings it out to the right wing to Hill. Jalen Hill. Passes over now to Doolittle. Doolittle looking to pass it someplace. Bounce pass over to the left wing perimeter. How will the Yankees replace Luis Severino? Examining in-house options, trade targets, remaining free agents. Or do I think the Cubs will get rid of Ben Zobrist or for money so they can buy someone really good? I'm not really entirely sure there. I don't follow like a ton of baseball or so, like inside to like baseball and things like that. But I guess only time will tell there. First shot no good at the free throw line. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Vegas Vix. Number 1 in the Pac-12, but they're not even inside the top 25. Like, that's terrible. No Pac-12 Thursday night stream, unfortunately, Vaughn, because they put the Oregon game at 11 o'clock at night. That's the thing. They put Oregon against Oregon State, but that game is late for me, so I can't cover. That's a 3-ball at the left corner. After the free throw was made by Oklahoma, it's up and good by Terrence Shannon. Still down by 12, 1:25 in the clock. Oklahoma dribble drive, right hand. Too easy. That one's good there by Doolittle for 2. Back to 14 in the final 1:15. Hey, thank you so much, my man Eric. Thank you so much for stopping by here on the channel, and have a nice night as well. 1:05 left to go. Oklahoma get a W in this game. So a AP Top 25 resume builder tonight. Sooners with the basketball taken and stolen away with a minute remaining by Texas Tech. 14-point game. Red Raiders with the ball passing out. Takes a 3 left wing. It's way off the mark. Like, did these players in this team even have like, did they even sleep for like 4 or 5 hours? Looks like they're on like 20 minutes of sleep for this game tonight by Texas Tech. Poor shooting performance. 30 seconds left to go. No foul here by Texas Tech. Oklahoma with the ball. Doolittle takes a 3. It is an air ball. Not even close. Rebound Texas Tech. Final 25. Dribble drive. Moves over to the left elbow. Inside low post. And we get a foul picked up with 19 seconds. Hey, thank you so much, Hawkeye Nation, go Iowa. Thank you so much for stopping by on the channel once again, and I appreciate it for you joining me for the play-by-play tonight. So I wouldn't even call this a good win for Oklahoma. This is just Texas Tech shooting the ball at 33% from the floor. And it's just terrible looking shots, just floating it up with multiple air balls. I've called hundreds of games here on the channel before. I've never seen as many air balls as tonight in a game like this. First shot, Texas Tech misses at the free throw line. Doesn't matter anyway, they're down by 14. Oklahoma gets the basketball. And that'll be the game. 13 seconds left to go. What do I think? Hey, welcome in here, Jungle Boy. What do I think about the Duke loss? It's just terrible defense by Duke, and we've seen it multiple times this season. I'm not shocked at all. A road loss by Duke, just like NC State, where they got crushed by 22. Just like against Clemson, where they lost. It's a problem. It's a problem there, and it doesn't look like they're going to go far in any way in the tournament. So this game is final. Thank you guys so much for stopping by here on the channel. I appreciate it. I'm going to sign off here, Alex. It's so late right now. It's 11 o'clock at night, so I'm going to sign off, my man. I hope to be back here tomorrow, so feel free to let me know down in the chat tomorrow. If there's anything that you'd like to talk about. But I'm going to sign off here. I got to get up to work tomorrow. This is late here, 11 o'clock almost at night. Thank you guys so much. Going to sign off here on the video. And thanks so much for stopping by, as this is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Yeah, rough game tonight by Texas Tech. Just, they could not hit their shots from the floor. This game has gone final. Before you sign off, make sure to hit the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the sub here as I call play-by-play, as this is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night, everyone.